What's going on, guys? David G here, back again with another video. Now today we're going to be watching another Jordan Peterson video. Now this I feel like is really important. I've seen bits and clips of this interview. I need to watch the whole interview. It seems like a really good interview. Piers Morgan and Jordan Peterson, that's an interesting duo. um this one is called Jordan Peterson Gets Emotional, talking about Olivia Wilde's incel comparison. Now, for those of you that don't know or aren't informed, Olivia Wilde is making this movie, and it's supposed to be based, or at least one of the characters is based off Jordan Peterson as this evil, like, just person. Because, you know, Jordan Peterson, of course, is transphobic and evil, misogynistic, all these really idiotic claims and these low resolution views of these people that are just so pro. I mean, let's be real. These are all radical leftists that are saying this crap. Anybody that even has half a brain knows Jordan Peterson is actually a force for good in the world. And for some reason, the Matrix and the system just doesn't like when people speak to disaffected men and try to empower them. Because I guess when you empower men, then we can stand up and not put up with the BS that we are put through and that society forces upon us. Because let's be real, a lot of men are sad, a lot of men are depressed. There's a reason why most the men are killing themselves nowadays. It's a serious issue, and it's not really talked about very much. And when it is talked about when people like Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate, anybody that talks about this stuff, they get demonized very hardcore and get put in this category of misogynistic and all this junk, which it's BS. It's really crazy how you can really paint somebody to appear as they're not, because Jordan Peterson is probably one of the most compassionate people I've ever seen on the internet ever. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get in this interview and react to it.
The film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men.
I'm going to pause really quick. I want to point out something about the word incel. These are the actual misogynistic people. These are the actual people that hate women, the incels that are like anti-women. Oh, I'll never be with them, whatnot. Those are the misogynistic people. Those are the weak dudes that are fat, lazy, will never get in shape. They'll never pull even an ugly chick. Those are the misogynistic dudes, you know. Anyways, I just want to point that out. But let's continue.
Who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
Sure. Why not? You know, people have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. You know, what a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
Wow.
It's making you emotional. Talk about that.
Well, God, you know, it's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. And you get these casual insults, these incels. What does it mean? It's like, well, these men, they don't know how to make themselves attractive to women who are very picky, and good for them. Women, like, be picky. That's your gift, man. Demand high standards from your men. Fair enough. But all these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them.
When she said that, Olivia Wilde, it stung you, didn't it? I saw the
reaction.
By
that time, you know, that as far as critiques go, that was kind of low level. I mean, once I got painted as Red Skull, you know, magical super Nazi, that was kind of the end of the insults. There's no place past that. So when Olivia Wilde made those comments, the first thing I did was go look at the preview for her movie, which I quite liked. I thought I would go see that movie probably, and perhaps I will. It didn't really bother me. My family and I talked about it right away, and we were able to respond to it with some degree of humor, which then people completely misunderstood. I said I hope that, you know, that if I had to be played by someone, I think it's Chris Wilde, is that? He's a very good-looking man, and so that seems all right, you know. And then I said something like, I hope he gets my fashion style choice right when he plays me. And it was a joke. All that was a joke.
I mean, you've been so controlled today. And yet, in that brief moment, you got very emotional. Why?
Because
it's really something to see constantly how many people are dying for lack of an encouraging word. And how easy it is to provide that if you're careful. You know, give credit where credit is due. And to say,
this is y'all's villain, bro. This is who you're putting a villain in a movie. I really just don't. I understand. Obviously, TikTok, media, Twitter, all these toxic like websites, they're gonna leave all this out, right? And they're gonna see you talking about the Ellen Page situation, and then you're gonna automatically assume that he's transphobic because he called Ellen Page, because Ellen Page was Ellen Page, as she like that name is on movies and video games and everything. Now she's Elliot Page, and everybody needs to understand that's confusing. Now he's a dude, she's a dude. What was you know how confusing that is to people, and it's not even a disrespect factor. You completely change your identity from what you literally became famous from. Elliot Page was Ellen Page. She was a very famous actress. She still is. She was played, I believe it's in Inception, right? And a lot of famous roles as a woman and as Ellen Page. And now because Jordan Peterson wanted to point something out about that, he's very transphobic. He's just, he sits at night, can't sleep, worried about trans person breaking into the door. You know, yeah, it's really silly, the low resolution thinking how these people have, and I really feel bad for them because they really feel like their empathy um puts them at a moral high status, but their empathy is actually harmful because they're lying to people. They really are lying and being deceptive, and the whole point of lying is to put somebody in an alternate world and an alternate reality, which is not true, in order to control them. So it's very bad. Jordan Peterson is one of the most honest people. He really says what he thinks. He's mind. He doesn't have to be right on everything, but at least he's honest. And a lot of these people are just not honest. They're not honest to themselves. You can't even be real. Can't even be real about your identity. It's okay to do what you want and feel what you want, but you're not even going to be honest to the world and yourself about what's actually going on. And then when somebody like Jordan Peterson calls him out, you're quick to demonize him and make him a villain of a movie, say he's a Nazi. I can't believe people think he is a Nazi alt-right. I just like, where are you getting this from? Like, even if you like take these little clips, just like they did with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's easier to do because he says really crazy stuff. But with Jordan Peterson, where are you getting these Nazi ideas, these alt-right, transphobic? Where are you getting this from? Like, he only speaks out of compassion. This is how he is most of the time. He's very passionate about helping people. He studied clinical psychology his whole life. You know, I really just don't understand. It's quite amazing how people can have such a warped view of the world and just people in general. It's really amazing the control social media can do to warp your perception. You just got to really understand the world is not as it seems sometimes. You got to step back and open your eyes, like, for real. Don't be too. And it's not like conservatives can't do this, but it's mostly liberals, because liberals are really high neuroticism, really, and they're very creative, but they're very also like compassionate and everything. But the compassion can actually just not be good. It cannot be a good thing to be too compassionate, because it clouds your vision. It really does. So let's go ahead and continue with the video.
You're a net force for good if you want to be.
Do you believe you're a net force for good?
Net, yes. In all the details, probably not. No one's perfect. So people make their mistakes as they stumble uphill.
That's a bar, bro. That's a bar. People make their mistakes as they stumble uphill. Bruh, I'm gonna have to use that.
Jordan, it's been a fascinating interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've got this new box set out.
Yeah, pretty happy about that.
Jordan B. Peterson, 24 Rules for Life and Beyond Order. Fascinating books. They've sold how many millions now?
Well, 12 Rules sold 7, and I think Beyond Order is approaching 1 million now. So, yeah, they're doing just fine.
Did you ever think you'd sell that number of books?
I never thought any of this would happen, you know. I mean, so, yeah, I knew when I was teaching at Harvard and at the University of Toronto that some of the things I was teaching were revolutionary. I was surprised that I got away with it, let's say, as long as I did. And so there's a way in which it doesn't surprise me. And I wouldn't say that's because of the brilliance of my ideas. It's because I'm good at communicating ideas, but the ideas that I've been developing, they're ancient ideas. They're the oldest ideas we have in some real sense. So they have a power.
Right, absolutely. You'll launch the Peterson Academy. Tell me about that quickly.
Yeah, well, I've been collecting, along with my daughter, great professors and educators from all around the world, and we're having them come to Miami to film 4 2-hour lectures on a variety of topics. President of Hillsdale College, Larry Arnn, just taped one for us on Churchill, which I thought was quite funny because, you know, he's persona non grata. And so Arnn and Churchill, so that's quite funny. And we're hoping that we can determine how to provide people a very efficient and very low-cost alternative to a bachelor's degree. And we're working hard to make that accredited. I'd like to drive the cost of a bachelor's degree from its current $160,000 level to $4,000. And I think we can do it. So that's the plan. We're going to launch in either early 2023, depending on how quickly we can get things aggregated. And I'm working with my son on an app called Essay.app. We took a document I wrote for my students that helped them learn how to write and edit. And editing is very important if you write, and people are never taught to edit. And it builds editing tools into the software. And we have 4,500 subscribers and 50,000 users. We launched about 2 months ago. I'd like to teach 1 million people to write. So.
And just finally, you're healthy, you look healthy.
Pretty good.
And
much better.
Your wife's doing a lot better than she was?
She's back better than she was before even. Awesome. And my daughter's not ill either. So fancy that.
I mean, that's an amazing turnaround from where you were.
That's for sure, man. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
You know, my wife almost died every day for 7 months. So.
I'm very glad for you.
Thank you, sir.
I really am. It's been a really...
Man, I can't imagine being in his shoes and having to deal with that. Imagine your wife. He's been married to his wife since he was like 8, or not married, but he's known his wife since he was like 8 or 9 years old. And I forget how exactly how old he is. I'm pretty sure he's late 50s. I think he's like 58, 59. So that is a long, half a decade he's known this woman, and to know that like your wife could die any day for a long period of time, 7 months, is just unbearably bad. I can't even put myself in my shoes to really imagine how painful and awful that would be to experience. Props to him for being strong and just being able to carry on. That takes a lot. And I know he's been through benzo addiction and obviously the insane amount of hate and pushback he's gotten over the last 4 or 5 years of when he's became famous. He's definitely one of the people I look up to very much. He's just very honorable, and he's just such a genuine force for good, and it's what we need more of in this world. So just definitely a force for evil and bad, as we can see. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys again for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'm on Rumble, I'm on YouTube, IG, you know the deal. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.